a special guest, JDay, here on my left, and we're really grateful, Jason, just for your, you're casual, and that's exactly what this is all about, just getting to know some of the guys and girls here a little bit better.
Jason, you've had well-publicised injuries over the past couple of years. You mentioned you've just turned 30.
Yeah.
What are you looking at employing to make sure you're still playing at 40?
I go back and forth with this one because I sometimes I just feel like I just want to get to 40. And sometimes I feel like I'm like, maybe I can be a Tom Brady and play till I'm 50. I was just saying earlier, I mean, Bud knows this. This year my back went out the week before BMW, and I was walking around on one of those little stretches for 2 days. That was after the 2 days I was 2 days in bed and I couldn't walk. So from here down, I had no use of my legs, and it was probably from me to that wall away was the toilet, and it took me 30 minutes to get there. It's not a lifestyle that I actually want to have because of how vicious a golf swing can be. I mean, it's a non-contact sport, but there's a lot of injuries. I mean, I look back at my injuries. I've had an ankle injury. I've got two knee injuries. I've got a hip injury, a sports hernia, a degenerative disc, which is in my back. That's doing my back in. I've got a thumb injury. I've got disc problems in my neck, and I've got vertigo. That's just some of them. And I've got 2 wrist injuries as well. So, out of playing golf as a non-contact sport is pretty harsh on the body because you're doing millions and millions and millions of golf swings just one direction. There's just such a big imbalance. And I worked with a guy for a couple of years, got me to number 1 in the world, and then I started seeing a decline in my performance. I started losing a little bit of distance, so I'm working with a new guy that's out of the UK, trying to stay on top of my back. So the disc problem that I have in my back is always going to be with me. The only way to probably really get rid of it is go in there, have surgery, but I mean, I'm not going to do that because that can obviously hinder the way that I swing or mechanically swing a golf club. I'm not gonna be able to do that, so I just got to stay on top of it. I've got my massage guy here from Canada, so I probably see him every day this week, and when he's on the road, I see him pretty much nearly every day. And then I do about 30 minutes to an hour of corrective stuff, in the mornings or in the afternoons to make sure that I stay on top of my body as well.
Just to follow up on that, you've outlined all of those injuries and what you have to manage to get through a season.
Yeah.
Do you still want to be playing at 40?
That's... I'll stop playing golf the moment that I don't want to improve.
Well, as always, terrific to see you, Geoff. I mean, is it back where it all started?
We were talking to Jason yesterday afternoon, and he outlined a whole host of injuries he's had, and he's only just turned 30. 10 years his senior. Can you offer any advice that might prolong his longevity? We're talking about, I mean, you don't seem to me to be a guy who's going to go and pump a lot of weights and do all that sort of thing. So you obviously have a different sort of regime.
We all do what we want to do at the end of the day. Like, I'm not. I have absolutely no expertise in physical conditioning and biomechanics, any of that part beyond what I've learnt through playing elite golf from all the coaches and the trainers and that. You kind of pick up on a few things. But as a general overview of the sport, the guys who lift a lot seem to be the ones who are hurt a lot. And it's very general, and it's a massive just a general feeling. The guys who push a lot of mass seem to be the ones who get hurt a lot. Now, you talk to Jason, and he says he doesn't really lift that heavy, but there's a little bit of beach workout that goes on with a lot of these guys. Like there's a bit of vanity after you get to a certain point. You really like what's happening to your body, and you do hit the ball better, and you do hit the ball further. It becomes a thing for these guys, and I think too much of it seems to be bad.
In your expert opinion, how many of the top players are playing injured?
A lot are playing hurt very regularly. But what is injured and what is hurt? What's the difference between injured and hurt? Like injured is something that stops you playing, right? So nobody's playing injured because they've stopped. If that makes sense. But there's a lot of guys with niggles and pains and hurts and necks and shoulders and hips and backs, obviously. A lot of guys with dodgy hips in their late 30s. You know, hips take a big beating, lower back. Something gives up at some point. VJ's been hurt for years. Tiger was playing hurt 10 years before anybody knew before he was admitting that he was hurt. He was very hurt. Norman, I think, was always hurt towards the end. McIlroy's always hurt. It's coming, isn't it? I don't know. We're all just trying to hit it too far. We're just obsessed with hitting it far.